Hi, my name is Anuj Magazine, and I'm co-founder and CTO at AI and Beyond, an organization focused on advancing AI literacy in enterprises. I find myself fortunate and privileged to work on AI on most of my waking professional hours. As much as I'm tempted to talk about AI in this session, I'd like to tell upfront that this session is not about AI. This session is about something different. This session is about being human in the age of AI. More specifically, I'll be talking about the topic AI will evolve, but these human virtues endure. Let's deep dive right in. AI is a GPT. GPT not as in ChatGPT, but a general purpose technology. It is widely regarded as a general purpose technology. As the generation prior to us have seen with the advent of steam engines and electricity, and our generation has seen firsthand the advent of internet and PCs, general purpose technology has certain characteristics. It changes the way, drastically changes the way we live and work. And as we are at a cusp of yet another general purpose technology, AI, how should you respond to the changes which are happening, which are being bought by AI? In my mind, there are two pronged approach that we need to take as professionals. Number one is to take inspirations from what Kent Beck said almost 1.5 years back. So Kent Beck is a legendary software programmer. He's a creator of extreme programming and did a lot of work to popularize the test-driven development. What he said was, I have been reluctant to try ChatGPT. Today, I got over that reluctance. Now I understand why I was reluctant. The value of 90% of my skills just dropped to $0, but the leverage for remaining 10% went up 1000x. I need to recalibrate. We all need to recalibrate. So the first approach I follow is to ensure that we are very intentional about infusing AI into our workflows. It is no longer optional in my mind. The second approach that I suggest is inspired from what Bezos said when he was asked about how does he strategize. He said, I frequently get the question, what's going to change in the next 10 years? And that's a very interesting question. And it's a very common one. But I almost never get the question, what's not going to change in the next 10 years, which is also equally important. And that is what gave me idea and insight into approaching AI revolution, not by the lens, just by the lens of what's going to change, but also keeping in mind what's not going to change. And what's not going to change are what I call timeless skill. The concept of timeless skills fascinates me. And that became the theme of the book that I eventually wrote. What are timeless skills? Timeless skills are those core human attributes and capabilities which were relevant 20 years before and which will be as relevant 20 years or more from now, irrespective of the technological revolutions which are taking place in front of us. So it's a time not only we embrace AI, but we also embrace these timeless skills that makes us human. CTO of Accenture said this some time back. He said, we are training people to do machine things. We shouldn't be doing that. We should be training people in uniquely human capabilities. So, what are those uniquely human capabilities which AI can't replace as yet? There are many, but I'm going to be focusing on five which I think are important in this session. The first one, Jack Dorsey, who was the CEO and founder of Twitter, said, I regret not hiring a game theorist and behavioral economist during Twitter's early days to help company understand the ways bad actors might abuse their system. And Twitter was always been in the midst of controversies surrounding misinformation and trolling, hate, etc. So there is a stream of thinking which is known as consequentialist thinking. What does consequentialist thinking mean, and what does consequentialist thinkers do? It involves thinking about the downstream consequences of AI and understanding the effects these systems have when they are unleashed into societies. So the AI projects are going to be ubiquitous in the time to come, and I feel testers have an edge to become even greater consequentialist thinkers if they arm themselves with their knowledge of AI and how AI works and where the potential pitfalls can be. So consequentialist thinking is going to be ever important as AI projects become more commonplace than they are right now. Second aspect is what I call writing by hand. It is a metaphor which I use to describe what is a clearer thinking. We are in midst of information revolution, so information is available to us at fingertips. Information helps us make great decisions, but it also overwhelms us. The excess of it overwhelms us as we see in our day-to-day lives. So Sam Altman, in its one of his recent interviews that I went through, Sam Altman is a CEO of OpenAI, the most valuable startups in the space of AI and overall in general. And he said something that stuck with me. He said he still, despite running a biggest AI company currently, he still prefers to take notes by hand. Among other benefits, he says it helps him clear his mind. So, clearer thinking is going to become more and more important. And as a testers, we should ourselves, and as a professional, we should arm ourselves with uh, the mental models and tools that can help us think more clearly. I'd like to talk about today is combinatorial creativity, which is uh, creating or innovating something after combining field. There's a book known as Medici effect, which talks about the phenomenon. Magic happens, innovation happens when we are intentional about merging the learnings from different fields. AI is getting better by virtue of something which is known as transfer learning. It is getting better at combining different fields. For example, Google DeepMind's application known as AlphaZero, which taught itself how to learn chess by playing itself for 3 or 4 hours, and it started beating humans. So AI is getting better at um, learning from different fields, but I feel humans are even better connectors. We have this unique capability of applying the learnings from different fields, some lesson that we might have learned in our middle school, and apply it to a business problem that we have at hand. We are natural connectors, and as AI is infused into our lives, we should look to e- get even better at combinatorial creativity. How do we get better at combinatorial creativity? By exposing ourselves to newer field and newer experiences, and thinking about how we can apply the learnings from newer fields into our profession. Fourth thing that I talk about today is embracing the art of questioning. Google revolutionized the information access 25 years back when it came by allowing people to search for the content faster and better than they ever had. But what generative AI has done is something different. It has democratized intelligence. It has made reasoning and intelligence available to all of us. So as much as there was a premium of on knowing the answers in the past era, in today's world, it is increasingly become important to know how and what kind of questions to ask AI models so that you can get the responses that you want. So art of questioning is going to become ever more important as intelligence is becoming a commodity with the advent of generative AI. So, how do you get better at the art of questioning? Uh, by certainly not downloading these PDFs that are thrown out in the social media, that these are the 1,000 prompts that can help you become a better tester, automator, or marketer. I learned the art of prompting by learning books, by learning via the books of on questioning. There's a book of a beautiful question, which really helps you put in the right frame of mind to ask the right kind of. Fifth and the final thing that I want to talk about today is the high stakes mindset. So most of AI learns from huge amount of data, and it learns to do the task in an iterative manner. And with each iteration, the AI models get incrementally better. But in real life situation, we don't have always have the luxury of running 1,000 tests. For example, in high stakes situation where there is a medical emergency or 911, for example, the service emergency service in the US. Uh, I read recently that even though IVR technology is available for a long period of time, they prefer humans to take 911 call, trained humans, because that is the accepted norm in the society. They don't want that interaction to be taken care of by AI or by software. So high stakes mindset is where humans have the edge right now. And what can you do to attain high stakes mindset? What can you do is to expose yourself to high stakes situations as much as possible. One of the things that I used to do early in my career, where I didn't have as much access to leadership, was to do run the simulation in my mind. CEO is faced with certain situation, how he or she might have thought about the situation, and that got me thinking about high stakes situations more and more and get better at it. I have one last thing to also share. Uh, I had a privilege of listening to Doug McMillan, who is the CEO of Walmart. So Walmart is a Fortune 1 company for the last 10, 15 years. The first point that he said stayed with me. Do a great job of whatever is given to you. Never underestimate the value of work given to you. Doing a great job, irrespective of the technological era that you are part of, is never going to go out of fashion. So you always, though the definition of what a great job looks like will evolve with time. So always commit yourself of doing great job of whatever is given to you. With this, I'd like to close my talk. Thank you so much for listening in and wish you all the best. Bye bye.